Super Bowl champions.
E-A-T-L-E-S,
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes! Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Oh, hello.
surprise.
I was like, oh, it's just me. I'm not used to this solo
Surprise.
show.
We're all back.
Surprise, we're here. What's going on, Philly? Back
What
for
up,
another edition. What's going on? I die 99.
my guys?
Hello, I'm Michael. Hello.
What up?
What up, Chris? Oh, man, it's good to be back, man.
Oh,
Yeah, Mike, 0-4. Enjoy those 12 quarterbacks you drafted. They're helping you. They're helping you out.
oh, listen.
Trash.
Oh, listen. We got we're gonna have some special fantasy football guests on around 9:05. They're gonna hop in.
Oh, nice.
We got the dudes from the guys from Losing Sucks.
Yeah,
So
it does suck.
wait, Mike had to correct you. He's
Oh, don't say it. Sorry, Mike. I was giving you a little more credit, but a little more credit. It's hard out there. It's hard out there for Mike, but that's okay.
It's hard out in.
But guess what? It's not. Guess what? It's not hard out there for the Eagles whooping the Commanders. Carson Wentz, welcome home. Enjoy those. What? 9 sacks? 9 sacks?
Listen, the whole time that I was watching that game, I was thinking about our very first Drunk on the Broad Street line call about the Carson Wentz revenge tour.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot.
I was just watching the whole time, and I'm listening to it going, yeah, no, I just don't get it. Nope.
Yeah, and it was funny because watching the game, you're like, oh yeah, I really don't get the whole revenge tour. But that guy was wrong. I love the fact going into halfway through the third quarter, they had -4 passing yards.
I saw that.
I was like, that's the Carson I know, aka hold on to the ball way too long. I think he fumbled 3 times.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the guy. This is the Carson that I love because it's so great watching him do this for another team because it's great. He played Detroit and you thought that he was actually something, but you realize it's just garbage time. And especially even in the first game, I forget who they played. It's like, oh, Carson Wentz looks great. Yeah, when they're playing from behind. It's absolutely hilarious because it's all garbage time stats. Same thing what he did to the Eagles, all garbage time. If you watch that game and you say, hey, Carson Wentz is a competent quarterback, you need to get your eyes checked, get some LASIK, and we'll start a GoFundMe for you because you probably need to be committed. He's so bad.
He is. He clearly, it's like Groundhog Day. Since the last year of Philly, then he went to Indy. He just holds the ball too long. I don't really know what he's looking for. Or he's waiting to happen. And then you just breathe on him. He's just like he has one of the worst cases of fumbleitis that I know in the NFL. He loves to fumble that football, man.
He loves to put it on the ground. It's his favorite thing to do. But our boy, Jalen Hurts, erupted 300 yards passing at the half. And then obviously they took their foot off the gas pedal because they knew Washington wasn't going to be able to move the ball. But Jalen Hurts threw some of the prettiest passes I've seen for his young career in that game on Sunday. And even the 2 bombs that he overshot, which I was extremely excited to see.
Yes.
Because everybody, including myself, saying he doesn't have the arm strength, the arm talent. It was on full display. If A.J. Brown didn't give up toward the end of that route and just looked over his right shoulder, He
Right.
could have had that catch. He could have had a touchdown. But
Oh, true.
he looked a little tired. So I'll give him that. But Jalen Hurts shown me enough in that game Sunday to say I'm confident with this guy going forward, because everybody was worried. Oh, crap, he's not going to get through his reads. He's not going to get through his progressions. He's just
Right.
going to target A.J. Brown, when Devonta Smith in the past 2 weeks is actually leading the Eagles in targets.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
It just
I
shows you how
After his
complete.
first game.
Yeah, after his first game was a
After
dud.
his first game.
And
Yeah.
everybody panicking.
Yeah, it was just you knew it was just a matter of time. And then the Smith is too good, Brown is too good, Goddard is too good. You can't. It's just a matter of, what's the flavor of the day, And it was Devonta Smith coming up with catch after catch, highlight reel after highlight reel. Making catches, single covered, double covered. I mean, even that ball that he caught across, along the sideline, which probably wasn't really a catch.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he was able to track the ball and bring it in and right along the sideline like that was incredible. It's such a breath of fresh air to see, guys like Brown and guys like Smith and even Watkins go get the ball and actually catch it and bring it in and show off, their top flight talent. So
that catch and throw for the touchdown to end the half was disrespectful. That was an absolutely disrespectful catch out of Devonta Smith. He was like, "Nah, dude, this is mine. Peace, touchdown." Just over the guy. I was like,
and talk about the field awareness of being able to have to call that play on the fly, knowing you got no timeouts left, knowing that you're going to be able to call a play that essentially with the way they described it wasn't in the script at all. And then he just goes up and just bodies him after bodying the guy on the, what was, a couple plays before to get them down to the goal line.
Yeah.
Like that drive to me was probably the most impressive, I think, drive that I've seen from him, being able to navigate the field all up. I mean, if you remember, they started that drive, I think, inside their 5.
Yeah.
Right. And they're able to traverse the entire length of the field, run that 2-minute drill, and be able to get those points at the end of the half where you really essentially salt the game away and put yourself in a position going into the second half where you don't have to put any of your plays on display, right? You don't have to put anything new from the playbook on tape to be able to win that game. You can salt that game away. I want to see the running game evolve a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you see what adding that elite talent does in terms of what the end product is on the field.
Yeah. I do think the rushing game is lacking. I want to see Miles Sanders be more involved. I just know he has the potential to do it. And obviously we all know staying healthy is his main issue, but he's looked good running the ball. I just think they were having so much success through the air. I mean, he's got 300 yards passing through the first half. They're just kind of like, okay, we're just going to throw in these guys all day because obviously they can't stop any of our wide receivers.
Right.
Everybody had high hopes for Washington's defense, thinking they were actually going to be something. No Chase Young. They weren't getting pressure. Their corners and their safeties played absolutely terrible. They were just getting abused all game. I mean, what else? There's not really much that I saw from Washington over the past 3 weeks anyway that made me think that I would be afraid of them or they would be a contender in the NFC East, because I just don't think they're complete. And then if you shift gears to Monday night's game, where it was the Giants and Dallas, that game didn't show me anything from these two. And I don't give a fuck if people say, well, Dak's hurt. Cooper Rush has looked better than Dak so far this year. Like, he looks competent. He's making throws. But that team doesn't scare me. Trayvon Diggs still boom or bust. Like, that guy never learned. He's going to get torched by either wide receiver that we have. Jalen Hurts has he's the only passer, I think, in the NFL with zero turnover plays. like zero with a 0% turnover play
Gotcha.
because the one turnover wasn't his fault, right? He hit it off Gainwell's hands, but it's not like he's making bad passes. He holds on to the ball. It's everything that you wanted to see. It's coming together and it's promising. It's weird right now in the NFL because the Eagles have been cooking for 3 weeks, right? A lot of teams are looking stagnant because whether it be new coaches, right? Denver looks atrocious because Nathaniel Hackett seems like
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson looks terrible. Is it because these guys didn't play in the preseason? Is it that nobody's tackling now in practice, that these teams are not going to come alive until, week 6 or 7? Now you look at how advanced the Eagles offense has looked up in 3 weeks. If they're just now starting to fire on all cylinders, they are going to be deadly by week 9. Like they should be 9-0 going into week 10 and winning 3 more games to lock up the NFC East. Like that's what I'm looking at right now because I see all these teams struggle. Look at all these teams that were supposed to be great. Look at the Rams offense struggling. 49ers are fucking atrocious. Jimmy G is terrible. Jimmy G steps out of bounds for a safety, pulls to Orlovsky. Thank God he did because that pass was a pick 6.
Yeah.
That's how terrible that guy is.
Yeah, you're right.
Then you look at Minnesota. Minnesota's nothing to brag about. And then who else is there in the NFC? Tom Brady, old-ass Tom Brady. They're not looking like they can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is another team to talk about, but their wide receiver group is really young. Right? I love the fact that the DBs have shut down in 2 consecutive weeks and basically made the other team's best players basically irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right. In 2 consecutive weeks, you've shut down Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Cook. And then this week you shut down Scary Terry. You shut down Dotson. You shut Gibson,
Samuel. Like those are tough wide receivers.
Right. And so Slay and James Bradbury, right? The back end of that defense where we thought that might be the weakest link.
Yeah.
That turns out to be probably one of their strongest position groups.
And Avonte Maddox is making plays.
Dude, how about that tackle he made on Logan Thomas at the goal?
Mm-hmm.
5'9", 185 all wet.
Yeah.
And Thomas is like, what,
he's
6'6", like
6'6",
250.
240,
just
250.
jacked. And Maddox stopped him just like dead in his track. Yep.
Like Maddox is playing out of his mind. You see the confidence it's radiating off the players. And I think it's just they are becoming more as one and becoming a unit. And it's something that you wanted to see this team to be able to do. I still don't think Gannon is a good defensive coordinator. But you can't fault, the guy for having all this talent because this talent is actually performing.
Yes.
James Bradbury, if they don't sign James Bradbury to an extension in 2 weeks, I'm going to be worried because I want him back. I want Gardner Johnson back. I want Maddox back. I want to see these guys until they're 45 years old because it's reminding me of the Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown, esque.
You want to keep that. You want to keep that group connected. Right?
You better do it.
Together.
You better
and the
do
Saints suck.
Before you have to pay Jalen Hurts
look where
$45.
that pick is, right? That pick is what, 6 right now?
Yeah, that's going to be a top 5 pick.
It's 7 right now, right?
Is it 7?
I think it's 7. As we stand right now, I think it's 7.
It's going to be a top 5 pick, boys. That is going to be insane. We are going to get one hell of a fucking pass rusher or corner. We might actually get another lockdown corner. We might get a top 5 pass rusher.
I would go if there's a stud D end.
Yeah, you're taking him.
You are because, you give Sweat all that money. You have Hassan Reddick. I don't know. BG wants to retire an Eagle, but I don't know how it's going to work out.
Could be after this year. That's fine. Could be after.
What other position would you put a?
Safety is a position that you might
safety,
yeah. But I think in the top half of that defense, in the top half of that draft, right? Who's the kid that everybody's talking about from Alabama? Robinson?
What was it? I don't know.
He's a defensive end.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I mean, the comp at this point is like Parsons, right? So if you can get a guy like that, at this point, you can stick him in the middle of your defense and kind of call it a day, and he can just go wreck shop. I mean, and the other thing, don't lose like Nakobe Dean can't even get on the field at this point.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is crazy, right?
It's crazy, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a
It's
great
a good problem to have. TJ Edwards looks like
he's playing so well. Kaiser White's flying around.
Yeah, he runs. He runs like a running. He moves across the field like a running back.
Yeah, these are all guys I want to see together. Like I want to see these guys stay together and just dominate, because what I've seen so far has just been great. And I know we got probably our toughest matchup of the week or of the season so far coming up in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they're 2-1. They've been playing well. Doug, it's so
He's got them playing really well.
Dude, it's so crazy in the NFL, right? When you have a coach, when you have a good coach who's not demanding shit from you or being a dickhead like Urban Meyer or Joe Judge, these guys respond in a positive way and their talent takes over. Doug Peterson's letting these guys play.
Right.
James fucking Robinson tears his ACL in week 17 last year, and he's the second best running back in the league right now. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, these guys are motivated. They want to play for Doug. I'm happy Doug got a job where there's like literally no stress.
Right.
Because you're just in Jacksonville and you're doing what you got to do. Christian Kirk looks great. Trevor Lawrence looks like he could actually play in the NFL, which was crazy because last year I'm like, this kid had like 13 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. I'm like, I don't think this kid can play in the NFL. I'm like, this dude looks terrible. But Doug's got him going through his progressions. He's got wide receivers that are just patchworked in Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Marvin Jones. And it's just like, none of these guys are freaking great. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But they're playing well as a unit. When you have zero expectations on you, I think it's easier for you to be able to play well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and to go back to and to talk about some of our predictions for that game, right? I thought I was being hopefully optimistic and saying 4+ sacks.
Yeah.
Right. And they end up obliterating that number, right, and get 9. And you see Brandon Graham, who is a guy who ends up getting 2.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert is a guy who, the play that he makes on the screen pass to go in for the touchdown. You see Devonta Smith, get anywhere he wanted to on the field. A.J. Brown is catching passes and extending drives. The thing that I love is that it's not just one guy.
No.
It's different guys on different drives. It's different guys in different games.
How about our backup tight end? Not Stoll, the other guy. What that
Alcantara.
Alcantara, yeah.
His first catch was what? 30 yards. He's running down the sideline.
40
I'm like, Dallas Goedert, go. And they're like, it's not Dallas Goedert. I'm like, oh, shit, it's not Dallas Goedert. Who is that guy?
Right. And BG ends up getting defensive player of the week.
Yeah.
Right. The second week in a row that it's an Eagle that gets defensive player of the week. They're they're hitting on all cylinders. But like, Rich, talk about your thoughts on Jacksonville, because I know you had started talking about James Robinson. Right, Christian Kirk is a guy that we all thought in the offseason got kind of overpaid.
Yeah.
But is producing, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah, he's a top 10 wide receiver statistically right now in the NFL, Christian Kirk. So I mean, I guess that money is looking like it's well spent. I think Jacksonville isn't a slouch. I don't think the Eagles have a problem beating them, but Jacksonville likes keeping things close. They are a young, wiry team who wants to rally behind somebody who wants to rally behind them. They had Urban Meyer. They had that piece of shit last year, and I fucking hate Urban Meyer. I think he's a terrible human being. I didn't like when he was covering up the Aaron Hernandez stuff down in Florida, and then he was covering up the sexual assault.
Ohio State.
Yeah, at Ohio State, and the guy
just follows him everywhere he goes.
He's literally a shit stain on earth, and then you have to see his face every weekend for, I think, college football. Like, nobody wants to see this jerk off. Like, Come on, stop. But it's amazing when you see a guy like Doug Peterson go down there and you see how the team responds to a guy who's going to listen to you, but also give you the feedback. Don, what is that?
Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong button.
No, it's okay. Oh, attaboy. I was like, I don't even know what that is. But it's just one of those things where Jacksonville isn't a slouch. They have a decent pass rush. They have good offensive skill positions.
Right.
The offensive line isn't that great, but it's much improved from last year, especially when you actually have players who are motivated. I think their vulnerabilities are going to be in the secondary. I mean, they got some young defensive pieces on that end. I think we should be able to handle that. It all comes down to making Trevor Lawrence turn the ball over and getting up early, which I think the Eagles have no problem with doing right now. Jalen Hurts is playing out of his mind. Like, he is separating himself from the pack. Like, this is what you wanted. I'm just extremely excited for his leadership qualities and how he's improving on the field and how he's continuing to improve. He is going through his reads. He's looking great. He's, like we said, he's not dialing in on one guy. It's everything that we could ask for him. So my criticism of him is gone. I want to see him as my franchise quarterback, even though Lamar Jackson is playing out of his fucking mind right now.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's being insane. But let's pump my brakes. I am all on the Jalen Hurts bandwagon. I finally am converted. My soul has been saved, and I'm just excited. I'm going to say the game this weekend is going to be a nice 28-17 Birds.
Oh, I like it.
Well,
I like it. Hey, Rich, and just so you know, right, I was on with the guys on the Santa Booed first. I went on and hopped on with them for a little while. So just so you all are aware, we are in charge of the bar card on the Hertz train.
Yeah.
I have volunteered us. I only thought it was only appropriate that
it's my big stein.
that we man the bar car. So it's our responsibility along that train to keep it stocked.
Oh, you know it. You know
it. It's and,
choo motherfuckers. Choo choo.
But I think the Jaguars are a team that you can't not take seriously, right? You got to play. They're a professional team that is going with a professional coach now. So to see anytime that, even though Herbert's a little banged up, right, to see them go out to San Diego and take care of the Jaguars the way that they did, or the Jaguars take care of the Chargers the way that they did. The offensive line is good. It's gonna present a decent challenge for them. I think they're gonna get home. I think you saw a little bit more of Jordan Davis,
which was fantastic.
And I saw there was a series. Someone had posted a series of clips from him, and it was literally the title was just Jordan Davis being Jordan Davis, right, and just being disruptive. Right, he goes in for one play, ends up getting a batted ball that stops a drive.
Yep.
Right.
The rookie from Alabama or rookie from Georgia, Jordan Davis, gets his big paws on that one. I was like, ha ha, my man.
Right.
Not motherfucking time.
But I don't see where, this team, I don't see anybody on defense that's going to end up stopping them from putting points up.
No.
So, Rich, your prediction was
28-17, and I'm going to say the play of the game is going to be, you know me, I like the defensive side of the ball. So I'm going to say a Hassan Riddick strip sack, and it's going to be recovered by Kazir White for a touchdown.
All right.
The ice the game. Give him that 28 points.
Joe, what do you got?
What's the line on the game? I forget the shit.
Last time I saw it was like six.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Is it 6? Okay.
6.5. So Eagles 6.5. So it's still an Eagles line, but it shot up.
Okay.
But we're also home. It's 1:00. Jags don't travel well.
Yeah. Which sets up, I think, a closer game than it's gonna be, just because it's the whole Doug factor, and they're supposed to win by 6 or 7. They should handle this. 27-23 Philly. A.J. Brown with the fourth quarter touchdown.
I like it. I'm going to go like 31-14.
Wow.
31-14.
31-14.
Really?
I think I think they put up points. I I'm looking at the guys in their defensive backfield, and I don't see where anybody that they have matches up well on anybody that we have, right? Like there's going to be space where those guys are going to be able to get open. And I think that's where this offense is going to present problems for anybody that they match up with. Unless you've got 3 solid DBs that are going to lock down A.J. Brown. Even if you lock down A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and, Dallas Goedert, right? You saw the play where they lock those guys down, and what happens, right? Quez goes deep and gets behind the safety. So I don't know. I think, the key play for me, I'm going to go offense, right? I'm going to go Miles Sanders. I'm going to say Miles Sanders has one of those, like, do you remember the play in Buffalo where he ripped off like 60 yards?
Yeah.
I think he busts off like a 40+ yard run touchdown. I don't know when in the game, but I think that kind of play happens, and it takes the game from like, maybe like a 7 to 10 point lead to like a 17 point lead, and really kind of salts the game away. And then they're able to just kind of waste the clock away before we end up, taking it home.
Oh, wow. Sorry. What I was looking at the comments, and I saw Chris said they moved the Chiefs and Buccaneers to Sunday Night Football and moved to Viking Stadium.
Ooh.
I didn't know that.
Because of the weather.
Yeah, because of the weather, but that's hilarious. We're going to go play at the Viking Stadium. All right. Huh. Are fans going to travel for that? Like, what are they going to do? Like, you get a refund for that and then just sell them to everybody in Minnesota? So it's just, that's going to be weird. Like, it's
all the way to Minnesota. Like, there's nothing closer.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere else. Like,
well,
right.
Go play in Canada.
Yeah, we're we're going to
Calgary
Egypt.
Stampede.
And we're going to go play in Egypt. We're just going to move far away from the hurricane. We're going to give the teams 3 days to prep. It's an Egyptian game, playing at the pyramids in the sand.
Well, listen, it's not the first time that they did that a couple years ago.
They did. I just thought it was hilarious that they're like, okay, we're going to go the furthest away from Tampa we can without crossing the border.
Well, I mean, is it
Minnesota?
It might be one. It might be availability.
It's availability,
and it's a dome too, so they don't have to worry about the weather.
Hurricane striking up there. Always worry about the hurricanes in Minnesota, land of 1,000 lakes. You never know when a hurricane's going to erupt.
It might be snowing at that point. Who knows?
Oh God, there's a blizzard. You can't even get there.
Oh God. Well, listen, we have we're going to play our call of the week from the Broad Street line. So let's cue the music here.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
All right, so the call of the week. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, Don, Rich, Joe, what's going on? Eagles had a hell of a win on Sunday again against the Washington Commanders, and Carson Wentz, he stunk up the joint as usual. 9 sacks, 17 hits on the quarterback. Eagles are looking good. Let's go all the way to the Super Bowl.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
There we go.
Adam, what a dude.
Adam's got our call. We got a call of the week. So, and listen, I think, we got.
What were the other calls? Were they bullshit?
Yeah, there was a lot of other bullshit. It was nothing good. We had, but listen, this team looks like it's primed and ready for.
Can we play the worst call of the week? There has to be a really bad one. Probably one that tells me to go fuck myself, and I want to listen to it.
Listen, if we didn't have special guests hiding in the green room.
Oh, they're here? Okay, yeah, bring them on.
So we're listen. I'm just gonna bring them on, right?
If these guys tell me to go fuck myself, I'll appreciate that.
There we go.
I'm just saying they better bring it.
Listen, and I connected with these guys on a Twitter feed, right? They're coming on to kind of talk some fantasy stuff. So, gentlemen, welcome to Drunk on Broad.
What's
Gentlemen.
going on?
Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Welcome.
Love the show,
on?
boys. I love the
Thanks.
energy.
Thanks for having us. This is awesome, guys.
You guys didn't tell me to fuck off, so I'm kind of upset. One of you's got to say it.
Not yet, Rich. Not yet.
Not yet.
There's still
Give us some time.
There's still time, Rich.
It's only 30 seconds into these guests.
We'll get there.
I'm done. I'm out. Done.
All right, see you guys.
If you haven't already noticed,
Already?
right, we've already put the kids to bed, so
There you go.
everything's on the table. Gentlemen, you know what? I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves.
I appreciate that. Well, I'm Dustin. That's my co-host Travis over there. And we are part of the Losing Sucks Fantasy Football Podcast. You can catch us over on Twitter at Losing Sucks and online at losingsucksfantasy.com.
Yep, like Dustin said, I'm Travis, half of this company here that we started a year and a half ago. We're in season 2. Learning on the fly is a lot of shit to learn between two people to put on a show, but we're there, and it's finally streamlined enough to where it's not running our lives.
Right.
I've been excited for this for days because Dustin, while he will convince you that he is a lifelong Bears fan, he is a closet Jaguars fan, and this is the perfect week
All right.
to have Dustin on the show.
All right. Dustin, you got to go, bud. Sorry, man.
In fairness, Philadelphia it was and is still my Super Bowl pick. So
I mean, I just feel bad that you're a Bears fan because that's
me
tragic.
too, buddy.
That's
too.
tragic right now.
That's tough, man. That's
Look,
tough.
okay, I thought this was an Eagles show. Okay, I didn't come here to talk Bears. Okay, if I wanted to cry by myself, I would have stayed home.
Oh God! Well, listen. Just so we have and we're part of and run a sleeper fantasy pod for Philly Sports Podcast.
Love that.
So I have to get your opinion because our league is a super flex
Sucks.
Okay.
Hate it.
with the two quarterbacks. So I got to get your opinions on the super flex before we go any further.
Fucking terrible.
Okay.
Not you, Rich.
For
I'm
home
sorry, you
league,
know how I feel. Go ahead, Dustin.
Switching-
Dustin and Travis. Go ahead.
switching to a super flex in a home league is something we have refused to do, or I, as the commissioner of most of the home leagues, have refused to do. However, it is fun if you're joining new leagues with people on Twitter, especially dynasty leagues. It adds a new element to it, which is always fun when you do the same thing for so long. But I kind of think that's what home leagues are for. There's tradition, there's expectation of when do you get your quarterback, who is your guy for the year, as opposed to, just grabbing one or two guys at any point in the draft and rotating them all year. I think that loyalty to this is my quarterback for the year is kind of fun in a home league. And it's very fun if you have Jalen Hurts. So
For sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Dust, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love Superflex. It's fun because Travis and I go back and forth. We're kind of opposites on a lot of things. He likes to be, he runs a standard league. I like PPR leagues, and I like Superflex. He likes one quarterback. I just like more points. Look, you give me guys on my team because quarterbacks score more points. I like scoring more points, okay? I like the opportunity to outscore my opponent by 100 points. You don't get that in a lot of one quarterback standard leagues. So that's where I kind of jump off there. It's exciting, and really, I mean, if you're in a 10-team, 12-team league, whatever, you only have like a third of the quarterbacks out there. So it's just fun. It's fun when everyone gets involved, and I like when someone has to choose between starting, I don't know, like Jimmy Garoppolo and Geno Smith. It's fun when someone else has to make that decision.
that does not sound fun.
I mean, so what I'm getting from this is Travis is the Miyagi type, and Dustin, you're a sweep the leg.
That's right.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting.
That's
You want to just destroy everybody as much as possible. Travis is like, all right, man, let's just have some fun, which is cool. The personalities, I like it. I like this. But I have a question for you guys because this is the shit that's pissing me off. So in my home league, right, I had 2 second-round picks this year and 3 third-round picks. I thought I was sitting pretty. I'm in 6th place.
Oof.
What is your biggest regret for a pick in the 3rd round? Would it be DJ Moore, Allen Robinson? Just either of those two, because I picked both of those guys in the 3rd round with my extra picks, and I'm crying. It
Yeah.
hurts.
I too have Allen Robinson and DJ Moore on a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I still I don't want to quit on
No.
either of them yet. And we were talking about Allen Robinson earlier today. He's not somebody you just want to sell for nothing.
Yeah.
Because they brought him there, they paid him. It's only been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of touchdowns. One, he was tackled down at the 1. I think Henderson or Cup got it. If he gets across there, it changes an entire week.
Yeah.
And then he had one against Arizona go right through his hands on the goal line. Just a little bit too hard from Stafford. If those 2 plays are touchdowns, he's not in the conversation of bust right now.
Yeah.
It's that close. But yeah, you're not starting him. I think you're still starting DJ Moore in a flex spot. Allen Robinson, I'm fine moving to the bench until you see something different.
So you'd rather start DJ Moore with Baker as his quarterback, because Baker's looks absolutely awful. I don't know if it's Ben McAdoo, because if you look at the numbers that Christian McCaffrey's putting up, they're not throwing the ball to him at all, which is surprising because obviously he went, 101 or 102 in most leagues. So you got a guy, and you have a historically bad offensive coordinator in Ben McAdoo. How he still even has a job or got the job is insane. But the mismanagement of talent that he has, is it Baker just being bad and refusing to check down to CMC and actually looking for the best wide receiver on his team? Or is it just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any excuses. Does Baker suck? Or is
that team is just Baker walking in there. It was kind of laughable when Baker was brought in and expected just he's an upgrade. It's like, upgrade over who? It's
Sam Darnold?
Okay,
that's
there
a
were
great
2
idea.
guys that were jettisoned from the teams that drafted him in the 2018 draft. Like you're expecting the guy that came in late in the offseason to, hop into a new offense that wasn't good to begin with anyway. And then now you're expecting, DJ Moore's going to have a great season. I didn't see it. I expected more out of CMC, to be honest with you, but now we're seeing those injuries kind of pile up and we've got more questions, of course. DJ Moore, though, I'm going to give him one more chance. He's got a good matchup against Arizona this week. I think that's something to look forward to. They've been beautiful for wide receiver production all year. I mean, all 3 weeks we've played, but I think I'm going to give him one more chance. I think this is the week that, if anything, you can sell high after this week.
Nice. And since we are a Philly podcast, we have to break down the offensive playmakers and where you guys rank them to where they are playing right now. So
perfect.
Obviously, I think Jalen Hurts was in a lot of people's top 3, right? Everything that I read, from Matthew Berry's shit to fantasy footballers to the fantasy football guys or fantasy pros. Right. Like, everybody had Jalen Hurts in the top 3. But let's talk Devonte Smith. Devonte Smith, where he is sitting right now. Did you guys see that and have the expectations of what he is going to do, and with the 23 to 26% target share that he has? Or did you guys have him ranked significantly lower because of the addition of A.J. Brown?
So, dynasty-wise, I had a Devonte Smith day this summer where I texted Dustin in the morning. I said, I'm going to acquire as much Devonte Smith as I can today.
It was a national holiday. What day is it? I will drink to it.
I think of like 8 dynasty leagues at the time. I was able to get him in 5 leagues on the same day. Wow. And it was just a good buying time. And then the NFL draft happened, and A.J. Brown was an Eagle. And I thought, shit, everything that I just gave up, now he's a wide receiver too. I don't know what's going to happen here. But believe in the talent, and the eye test says this guy's special. It doesn't matter who's on the other side. It could even help him.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking after how well A.J. Brown did week 1. But, yeah, after last week, you got to think his floor is fine, and he has those ceiling games still just because of how good he is. Where do I rank him? I'm not going to put him in that Michael Pittman, T. Higgins range.
Okay.
But right below it, I still think he's a top 20 guy.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Devonta Smith, the whole narrative coming in was he shot. Everyone looked at last year, his rookie year, and he was really the only weapon other than Goddard for a still acclimating Jalen Hurts. And everybody was thinking, okay, Jalen Hurts hasn't proven himself. Devonta Smith was the only guy there, and he couldn't produce. And now he's producing, through what? He's got already 250 receiving yards, which is incredible. Wow, and this offense just looks incredible. And now, like Travis said, I think I've got Devonte Smith right now at my wide receiver, I think 17. And that offense, look, until they prove otherwise and that they're human, I have no problem with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith being firmly, inside the top 10 for A.J. Brown and, inside the top 20 for Devonta Smith. I think this offense is good enough to support, heck, even Dallas Goedert being a top 6 tight end eventually. I think that's going to happen.
That's what it's done, is taken all attention away from Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
The two receivers and Dallas Goedert, who should get praise every week for how good he is just completely disregarded. He could be a nice buy because all the attention is elsewhere. A nice piece of that offense should be pretty cheap. Would be a nice buy at this point for sure. Before he goes out there and has 80 and a score or 40 and 2 scores, then you can't buy him.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts, number 3 in passing yards this year. It's just wild. It's
fucking nuts.
Best case scenario.
Listen, like right before you guys came on, we were talking about like how, like when we were breaking down the Jags game and we're looking at the offensive weapons, right? You can't double any of those guys.
Yeah.
You double any of those guys, you're leaving somebody open. And the example we were talking about is the one Quez Watkins touchdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put bodies on Smith and Brown and Goddard, and then Quez sneaks by a safety, right? And it's gone for 40 plus yard touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the thing that like I look at when I'm looking at the guys on the Eagles squad, right? That's where those guys are going to score points. It's going to be hit and miss though, right? Each guy is going to kind of take turns having games. But where would you put, is Quez a guy that can get on, in a flex spot, maybe if you're in a deep league?
Oh,
Maybe
I think in a really
weeks.
deep league. I think in a deep league, I mean, you're talking, Quez isn't a guy like I would look. He reminds me of like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Okay.
He's a flyer. Like we've seen him have huge games in the past. I think with the target competition, obviously, I think he's maybe the 4th, 5th option on that offense. For including Miles Sanders. Yeah. So not someone you really want to rely on, but like in a really deep league, sure. Best ball, absolutely. I'm happy to have Quez, but yeah, I just want any piece of this offense right now that I can get for sure.
All right, before we get to Jalen Hurts, because I know that's coming, and he deserves an hour of a show, I would like to...
You want to talk Jaguars, and we can do that, absolutely.
I would like to take 1 minute to show you my obsession with who I believe to be one of the greatest of all time, Donovan McNabb. And I don't know how you guys feel about Donovan McNabb,
great
but I feel like all
quarterback.
Eagles should respect Donovan McNabb. We'll start here.
Wow.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Gotta want to barf.
Yeah.
what is that?
We'll start here.
It's incredible.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I remember him in, for sure.
We'll finish here.
Okay.
All right, we got that.
And then we'll go here.
Nah, that's perfect.
Okay.
There was an obsession for about 10 years of my life with Donovan
Do you have
McNabb.
a can of Campbell's Chunky chicken noodle soup in there?
The pantry's full of it.
Right?
Only the
I
ones
think I see
that have
Donovan
his face.
McNabb's mom right
Where's
behind
Mom?
him.
Where's
Travis, are you in McNabb's basement? Like, are you
Yeah,
something?
like
Yeah.
where the hell is he right?
He's
I
actually
used to
McNabb's
have these
son.
all on my wall
Yeah.
in college, and people were like, "I'm leaving." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Okay.
But yeah, I love me some Donovan McNabb. He's my favorite athlete of all time. So
All right, I gotta ask you then. He's always on the dividing line for a Hall of Fame, right? He's obviously got insane numbers that puts him in the conversation, right? He's probably the best quarterback in our franchise's history.
yeah,
Is he a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame?
the bias in me says yes. The realist says I think the Hall of Fame should be reserved for truly elite,
Agreed.
He's in the Hall
unquestionable
of really
careers.
good.
Holy
he's in
shit.
the Hall of really good.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge. I'm sorry. Breaking news. Aaron Judge just hit his 61st home run.
Oh,
So that's pretty awesome. I'm sorry I had to say that. That's
It
pretty.
is.
I hope he takes the rest of the season off.
Dustin's also a Red Sox fan, so we're just laying it on tonight.
Dustin, just piling it on. Buddy.
All right, that's
Sorry,
Donovan. Donovan got his shout out. On to the next.
and that's what Donovan needed. But
Yeah,
That's right.
before we get to Hurts, I want to talk about Miles Sanders. So Miles Sanders last week, I think he had like 88% of the running back share, like in rushes. Now I'm not counting the 9 from Jalen Hurts. Do you guys see a positive regression for him in this offense, especially if they're going to keep staying up big, especially with the strength of schedule? Or do you think he's going to be like that middling 15 rushes for 60 yards, 2 catches for 15 yards, but not scoring touchdowns?
Oh, Trav, do you want me to take this one? Or do you want this one?
You got it. I mean, I love Miles Sanders. I love him, but
Yeah.
As do I.
Dustin's going to give you a more level head than I would on this.
Miles Sanders is someone that is one, you can't move him anywhere, but in terms of regression, coming back to a positive, I don't think it gets much rosier for him. I think he's going to be inconsistent. I think that he's just not relied on. He's not their primary runner. You know, it's tough when you're the running back to your quarterback.
Yeah.
And it just is. It's kind of just the reality of the offense, and that's what they need for him. And then, of course, you sprinkle in some Boston Scott, some Kenneth Gainwell to be annoying. And it's just never been the MO of Sirianni, you know, or any coach of Miles Sanders, you know.
Pretty much. For anybody who had
He's
Miles
so
Sanders.
good.
I think it's going to be, he's going to have games. He's going to, like, there will be better games. Obviously, there are going to be games when, you know what, Miles Sanders is the goal line guy, but you tell me which weeks those are, and your guess is just as good as mine. You know?
Yeah, and that's he doesn't get the goal line opportunities, which is strange. It's like they'll bring in the Boston Scott, the Gainwell, and it's just like,
I hate it.
is it because Miles Sanders does not like to run in a straight line and he likes to bounce it outside, and these guys will actually run behind him?
You know, it's funny.
Joe's like
because
probably, which I
Probably.
It's how they were coached, man. It's funny because you can go back to their coaching at Penn State, and it's exactly like him and Saquon Barkley run the exact same way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trying to find that opening and then home run
Muscle
ball.
to the outside, yeah.
He's so good. Every
He
time
is
I
so
watch him, every year, while he's healthy, I'm like, this guy's a top 10 actual runner in the league. When he's healthy, like right now, there's only a handful of guys that if I could choose to be a bell cow over Miles Sanders, I would choose. But I'm higher than most on him. I just believe the talent is special. If you were to give him 20 touches a week, he would be a top 10 fantasy back.
Yeah.
I really think like that's what's holding him back is the roulette, like you're talking about, of Boston Scott, or every now and then it's Gainwell. It's just that role is so unreliable. But if it was, I think he would be in that elite category. I think he's that good.
He has 35 more touches than Gainwell and Scott. Gainwell's got 10 rushing attempts. Scott's got 10 rushing attempts. He only has, what's that?
This is gonna hurt.
8 more attempts than Jalen Hurts. Like, that's, to me, is like you definitely see the 1A to the 1B. Hurts is the primary runner, and then it's Miles Sanders.
Yep.
But it's like you average 74 yards a game. Right now he's at 4.9. Last year he was over 5. Like, so he's still on course of being that over 5 yards per rush guy. It's just not being able to figure it out because of coaching, which is like the hardest part.
Well, it's also tough because Jalen Hurts doesn't check the ball down. You know, Sanders is averaging a pretty low number of yards per touch, and like yards per rush, sure, because Jalen Hurts can open that up. But when you're not having luckily they don't have a Matt Ryan or even a Carson Wentz type quarterback to check it down. You know, it's just a guy who sees that opening. He'll see 5 yards and say, "Oh, well, I can pick that up with my legs," and
as he should. Whatever they're doing, keep doing it. They don't even say, we need to focus on getting Miles Sanders 5 more
we're
times.
doing really great, but let's get Miles
Keep
involved.
doing it.
Yeah. Let's fuck the offense up and just do the complete opposite of what we're doing to win.
Yeah.
And
The
we'll go
fantasy guys
3-2.
would like 5 more touches, please.
Yeah. Can you get the nerds behind the computers who who act like they manage an NFL team? Can you get those guys the ball, please? It's like, fuck off.
I heard you guys talking about how you think the Eagles will go undefeated, though. That was
what starting
Did you
out
guys
like
say the U word?
No.
Oh, I said we're going to start out 9-0.
9-0. Let's not get carried.
I think you guys are being too modest.
lose one
I think you're
game.
being
We
too
might
modest.
lose.
No,
one
we're going to
game.
lose games. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I feel
too.
like we're going to go 9-0.
Let's because me and Travis, I think we both agree. We think you guys could go 12, 13-0.
Who's beating you?
Well, and that's where I'm
question.
at, right? I'm looking at the schedule and going,
Weird
But-
things happen. Absolutely.
They do. No, they do.
I only
The
see
Houston
2
game-
chances.
The Houston game scares
Trap
me.
game.
That's the game that scares. Plus, it's Houston. We play at Houston, I believe.
Yep.
It's
on a
Thursday
short-
night football, and
Yeah,
let's be real: 86% of the time, the home team covers and wins. So
Davis
that's scary.
Mills.
Yeah. I mean,
That was
I
not
hear
the
ya.
one I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say
That
Aaron
was the
Rodgers
last one.
Sunday night could
Oh,
come
fuck
into
Aaron
Philly
Rodgers.
and
Fuck
put on
that.
He has done that to so many teams.
He has
It's
when he
surgical.
had Devontae Adams.
Something about
Right.
Rodgers on Sunday night is just surgical. So that
Yeah.
could be one of those magic games. And then Dustin was saying earlier before we came on, Eagles at Cowboys on Christmas Eve is going to be fun. That's going to be a dogfight.
That will be fun.
Yeah.
that's gonna be a bloodbath.
So
Man,
for you guys, fantasy wise, who's the bigger loser, Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams?
Ooh,
Devontae Adams.
I would say Devonte Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna figure it out. I mean, look, he's just gonna make guys better. Devonte Adams can't make Derek Carr more accurate, or he can't make him.
No, he can't.
No, he can't make him throw more touchdowns.
Especially at 0-3. Devontae's the type of dude, it seems like at least, that
It's wild.
he would give up some of his numbers to keep the team winning and rolling. And
Yeah.
that's just not going to happen. It is such a shit show over there.
Yeah. Shout out to Mac Hollins for just catching touchdown
Right?
passes on
Right.
every single team except the Eagles.
the wide
Mac
receiver
Hollins.
one over there. He's the guy you
Shout out
want.
to Mac Hollins.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
well, gentlemen, biggest surprise so far through 3 weeks. Who's the guy that's kind of jumped off that you didn't think was going to jump off to a hot start?
James Robinson.
Yeah, James
Oh
Robinson.
God, dude.
And Dustin and I were ETN all offseason, have him so many places.
Yeah.
And I
It
think he's
hurts.
my number one owned player in best ball. Like $300 investment in this dude. And Robinson's killing it. And we're like, that should be ETN. He's not
Well,
supposed to be healthy yet. And he comes back early. He's ready. It's like,
Yeah.
he's not really ready. And he's showing, I'm really ready.
Got a goddamn horse's leg in there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Christ.
I mean, in all honesty, if we're being and not just because this is an Eagles podcast, but Jalen Hurts is the guy that I expected him to be good. I didn't expect him to be this good. I mean, we're three weeks in, and he almost has 1,000 yards, passing, and the dude, him and Lamar Jackson legitimately have a chance to break fantasy football. Like the rare years where if you have them on your team, you're probably winning each week. And
I was listening to JJ Zacharyason's podcast this morning, and it was the Trend Show, which I always love listening to. And this dude goes, "You guys remember when Lamar Jackson won MVP and broke fantasy football? He averaged 27.9 points.
Yep.
Guess how standard points. So guess how many points that he is averaging right now? Not the fantasy guys, you
Yeah.
two guys.
It's got to be 32 plus.
yeah, he's got to be probably close to 29.
Okay,
right there.
go ahead, Don.
I don't know, 31, 32. Hey, I'm
Jill,
30.
30 points is he averaging. 30. He's averaging
Wow.
41.9.
No.
Stop.
way.
41.9 standard fantasy points a game.
Congratulations.
that?
You won the
What do
That
you
is
do with that?
fucking insane. Like you put this dude in, he's getting you basically what 3 wide receivers and a running back are giving you right now a week.
My goodness. Can
Yeah,
we just
he's-
talk about real quick how much of a genius Howie Roseman is, though? Can we just how do
It's
y'all
a
feel
hard
about it?
word around us there, brother.
Yeah.
Throw his flowers.
We're coming around on him.
Would you like to stay all night? Go ahead, Dustin.
the man is like he has his moments. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But what he has done in the last year with that franchise, giving you guys the draft capital that you have next year, moving and getting not just AJ Brown within 15 minutes, but AJ Brown and then Jordan Davis, like all within a 15-minute period. Turns the Eagles from they could be pretty good to holy shit, the Eagles are in it this year. And they're in it for the foreseeable future. The guy I wish more sports franchises had guys like Howie Roseman because I know as a Bears fan, we sure as hell have never had it.
Well, Ryan Pace is doing a great job for you guys. Is he still there? Or he get
No,
fired?
he's not. We got Ryan Poles now.
Oh, same
Right.
stupid name. Same stupid
RP times 2.
That's the
Right.
problem. Stop hiring Ryans. They're all
Yeah,
Chads
exactly.
and Brad.
How do you beat?
Yeah.
How do you beat the Eagles? Like as diehard Eagles fans and analysts of the Eagles that you guys are, if you're the opposing team, how do you beat the Eagles?
You need to continue.
You have to get pressure, consistent pressure on Jalen Hurts. You got to find a way to, blitz scheme or get him off his spot. He has to feel uncomfortable back there. That's really the only way. But nobody's been able to do that so far. So,
Right.
Would
And
you
But it
rather
is
try to
Doug
win a
P.
shootout?
It is
This
Doug
weekend-
P.
you
This
talk
week
about
is gonna
like
be
Jay,
a
you're
huge
talking about
test.
pressure, right? Like
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
pressure on Hurts, right? And the stat that I saw, did you see the stat, the Lane Johnson stat?
He hasn't allowed a sack in like
In
300 or
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, and since 2018, he's only let up 2 sacks.
Wow.
Pretty
Right.
good.
And that's a guy who, outside of some mental health stuff, is pretty consistent in terms of
Wow.
being a reliable guy to beat that, right? So if I look at it, right, I'm trying to do whatever I can do to keep the Eagles offense off the field, right? So if
Right.
that means I got to run the ball and keep the offense off the field, that's really the only way to contain this offense, at least through 3 games from what we've seen.
So you're saying
Yeah.
shorten the game, try to have 7-8 minute drives, keep it in
Right.
the 20s, and win in the 4th.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you can keep this offense off the field, right? But you saw this offense, right before halftime, go down the field in less than 2 minutes, go 94, 95 yards
Yeah.
to be able to just go so they don't need time. They only need that small window of space to be able to get, they were down the field. They had gained, I think, 87 yards in 4 plays. Right. So, and so I don't know, if I'm looking at Jacksonville's defense, I don't know who can match up if you put Brown, Smith, and Goddard on the field at the same time.
It's
You
ridiculous.
can't match
Dustin,
up.
can you answer that being the Jacksonville expert?
You know what? The one thing I will say, I don't think we have.
Is Jalen Ramsey still there?
No. Their defense has played some pretty well, or has played pretty well at times. I'll say that. I think that
they always are tough.
the key for this game is going to be that front seven, to be honest with you. I mean, they have the athletic defensive linemen to be able to break, contain, and chase Jalen Hurts down. That's one thing that, I don't think that he has seen this year yet. I don't think he's seen an athlete like Josh Allen. Trayvon Walker is very athletic on the inside, and they have athletic linebackers who actually have a decent matchup against Dallas Goedert. It's that speed on the outside that I don't know that they're going to have to contain A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I think this could be a high-scoring game, and it could be just who has the ball last or who makes the least mistakes.
You're looking at the starting quarterbacks, right? You're talking about Tyson Campbell and Shaquille Griffin.
Right.
And I'm matching those guys up with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
I feel like my guys are going to beat their guys on any play they want to.
Yeah.
You have to score first. If you're beating Eagles, you have to score first. You have to either get a quick 3 and out and score again and just play with a lead.
I think
You
what
need
Don
to control
touched
that.
on, I think what Don said was as accurate as, that's probably your best chance is
Control
to
the clock.
have long drives. I think it was Tennessee versus Lamar and the Ravens 2 years ago in the playoffs. Tennessee got the ball, it was 10:30 on the clock in the fourth quarter, and the Ravens never touched it again.
Yeah.
It was a 10-minute drive, and Derrick Henry was first down. Second down, first down. Just the whole field. So maybe Robinson and ETN, that's what they're going to try to do is find a way to make these drives 8-9 minutes. But I feel like you have to play a perfect game right now with how hot the Eagles are. You can't give them a turnover. You can't give up a long play. Keep everything in front and just try to make it to the fourth quarter and see what happens. But
I mean, a team that held
not
the
betting
Chargers
against
to
the
10
Eagles
points,
all year.
it's I don't think it's going to be just a cakewalk, but that's going to be a damn good matchup between these two.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, I have to ask you one more question. Biggest disappointment in your most overdrafted player this year.
Bro, we already
Who is
talked
it?
about him. We already talked about him. It's Travis Etienne. That dude. That dude
ETN
has
for you. I
killed
still
me.
think ETN can have a nice second half.
He's been my biggest disappointment, though. 3rd round pick everywhere. Yeah, that.
Ooh, 3rd round? Oh, that's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
that,
been
that
brutal.
would hurt.
Who's your breakout player?
Breakout player this year?
Yeah.
You know what? I've been pleasantly surprised by Chris Olave.
Okay.
But with the Saints, he's been very nice.
Dustin was actually really high on Christian Kirk going into
yeah,
the year
true.
too, and he's been. I think he's number 5 wide receiver right now.
Yeah. My dad drafted him in the 3rd
that's
round of the
calling
home
it.
league, and we laughed at him. I'm like, Dad, you literally he drafted him over a lot of guys. I'm like, Dad, you just drafted Christian Kirk, and he looks me in the eyes and goes, "It's a season of the Kirk." And I'm like, all right, dude. All right, Pops.
Call your shot, Pops.
I don't know what you're drinking right now, but give me some. And then everybody's like, oh, shit, your dad might have been right for once. He drafted Breece Hall in the 1st round. 2nd round, I think it was Alvin Kamara. And then he goes, Christian Kirk, and he's like, you guys can't fuck with me. I'm like, all right, like, chill, bro. Chill.
Oh.
You finish last every year for this reason. And he's finally hit.
My 2 biggest disappointments are the combination of Juju Smith-Schuster, who I thought was going to just feast in that offense.
Yeah. No.
Wide receiver 50 right now.
Yeah, he's fucking terrible.
Oof.
And Allen Robinson, like we said earlier, I have him literally everywhere. And he is wide receiver 66. He's unplayable.
Yikes. And
he was somebody with that. Every time I left the draft, I'm like, Allen Robinson's going to shit on this whole league. Like, they have no idea who I got there. And everybody's like, what's going on with Allen Robinson? I'm like, I can't hear you.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you got the Bears one, right? You got the Bears. Oh, yeah, that guy was great. Yeah, that guy was so good.
Damn it.
They've been
Fucking
hurting.
hurts, man. It fucking hurts.
Well, gentlemen,
Yeah.
it's
that's
been great having you on. We really enjoy the conversation. We gotta have to connect again.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
This is a blast, guys. Thank you.
any parting fantasy advice on your way out the door?
Dustin, you can go first.
Oh, sure. Make sure, other than obviously following us on Twitter and visiting our website, it's, you know what, be a week ahead. If your league allows you to pick up guys and drop them, pretty easily, make sure you pick up those Thursday night, Monday night guys who might be backups. Backup running backs, guy gets injured, boom, you got to start it right there. So that's something I'd be looking to do, make a habit out of.
Mine would be, if you are 2-1 or 3-0, go find the 0-3 team who has Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins. Go take them from them, because DeAndre Swift now, they can't wait 3 more weeks for these guys. And Hopkins and Swift is a guaranteed 0-0-0. And then a bye week for Hopkins later. So sell that, hey, he's got 4 zeros left. You're 0-3. He has no value to you. Just go scoop those guys up. Like DeAndre Swift, like if there's a team that's 1-2 or 0-3 and they're shallow running back, they can't afford to wait. And then buy low. This is your last chance probably to buy low on guys like Fournette, Joe Mixon, Eckler. Just shoot offers out. I got 2 shares of Joe Mixon in the last 24 hours, and I think that's probably a move that can change the whole season. And people are like, oh, I'm 0-3, I'm done. No, you're not. By week 6, you could be 3-3 in 4th place. Yeah. Keep playing.
That's right.
Just figure it out.
There you go.
Good advice.
Just try to find your buy low and sell high. We put out an article on that. We're always down to answer direct questions on Twitter all day long. So, don't throw in the towel. You waited all off season. Don't let 0-3 let you say, oh, well, better luck next year. Just keep fighting. All you have to do is get 7-6, and you're in the playoffs, and you can win it.
Awesome.
Nice. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it, man. Great time.
Take care. We'll be in touch. Take care.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Later,
Go
dudes.
Eagles.
Later.
Go Barts.
Go Bird.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
That was a fun conversation. That was a really
that
good
was a
time.
lot of fun.
Shout out to
I got
Losing Sucks. Good dudes. Good dudes. Good conversation.
a little different perspective, right? But
Yeah.
it kind of hearing someone else's perspective on the Eagles kind of makes me feel like we're in a good space because
Yeah, we're
trying
okay.
to-
We're not just being fucking fanboys.
Right.
It's nice. Super Bowl! I'm about to take my shirt off. It's gonna get fucking weird. It's gonna get fucking weird.
Not on this show, Rich. Not on
Not
this
on this. Oh wait, that's my OnlyFans, guys. That starts immediately following
That's
at
just way
9:45.
off.
9:45. Tricky Dick 620 on OnlyFans. Right now, I'm running a special. It's a $2,000 a minute. What's up? And you get all nipple. Oh, not the right show, Joe. Oh, my bad.
Oh god.
Forgot this is a family show.
Yeah, we're gonna get censored on Twitter. How's that?
You're like, oh, this ugly dude with a beard's got OnlyFans. Fuck.
I can't.
Sorry. Now I'm just like, why is Rich showing so much nipple?
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Final thoughts.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm gonna have to pass. I'm gonna have to pull an Uno card, pass that off to Don.
Oh, reverse.
Oh, reverse. Here we go. So listen, final thoughts. We've talked a lot about mental health on this on this show and talking about checking in. My heart goes out to the people in the Roxborough community for the events that happen after a high school football game where kids get shot on the walk home. Kid that's 14 passes.
Didn't make it. Yeah.
Didn't make it.
I didn't even see that.
Four other kids get injured. When I read the article, it almost made my jaw drop. 70-something rounds. Yeah.
Just no reason.
And for what? Like, we have to start figuring out ways to communicate with the youth, to provide answers, to provide alternative solutions. We have to start teaching the kids how to resolve their problems that doesn't involve a gun. So check in on your people, look in on your people. And if you have the ability to be able to be a positive influence in your community, if that's volunteering, if that's coaching, if that's just being a good neighbor, man, just be a good person, man. For real.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I didn't even hear about that. Like, that's the fucking crazy part.
They had just finished a scrimmage at Roxborough High School, and the kids were walking home. Just nutty, man.
Senseless.
For real.
Oh man, I don't know how many times that we can preach of just being good people. It just seems like it's so tough nowadays, and it's hard because it's just people want to say it's the world we live in and it's the times. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't have to be exactly, and it's like the thing that makes me upset. It's because like we can talk all we want about trying to be good people and trying to do that, but it's like actually following through with the act. And a lot of people talk a big game and they don't do it, but. Like you said, check on everybody. Just try to be decent. There's other ways to resolve conflict, but the main thing is just educate yourself and educate your kids and educate the people around you. Like, it doesn't have to be one way. It's not one way of thinking is the right way. You can have discussions where you can legit agree to disagree without calling each other fucking morons or just having anger. Like, I think it's just too much hatred and there's just too much anger going on that's misplaced for whatever reason, whether things aren't right in your home or at your job or in your community. Well, like you said, Don, people need to step up and fix it. Whether it be you, whether it be me, whether it be Joe, like people need to step up and, come up with these solutions to all these problems. And it's sad because how many more people have to die? Why does the divide have to keep growing ever more apart? Like, we all need to start really like kicking in and just trying to just preach the good word of just being good people, because it's sad. And I didn't like hearing it, and I could tell how you were getting choked up, Don. It's, innocent people getting caught up in gun violence, and everybody wants to, oh, well, guns don't kill people. But you know what? They're a fucking hell of an issue, and they're really fucking easy to get, It's fucking sad. How many more kids have to die before something fucking happens?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sad. Just sad.
Rich, take us out.
Well, you stuck around. You fucked around. You found out that losing sucks. Shout out to the boys for coming on, hanging out with us. I'm Rich. That's Joe. That's Don. Fuck Deshaun Watson. Fuck Spike Eskin. Who's the other? Fuck Davion Taylor. Who's the other? I forgot him this time. I remembered this time.
Almost.
Wasn't there one more guy?
Ben Simmons.
Working on that jersey,
Ben
buddy.
Simmons, that bitch
Spike
ass.
Eskin.
Who?
And Spike Essence. Who?
Oh, Ben.
Yeah, fuck Ben. Because
Oh, man, he's fixed his jumper, man.
oh, fuck Brett Favre. I forgot.
Oh,
yeah.
That piece of shit. Stealing $70 million from low income fucking people, you fucking Missouri hick. Fuck off. We're drunk on broad. Have a great night.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.